Early in the show, at the top of the show, in fact, we talk about the shocking situation with the Celtics. They are out of the NBA playoffs, swept basically in the last 4 games after they won game 1. Brad Stevens, post-game, I've been a head coach for 12 years, and we let go of the rope more and crack more than we probably should have, and we need to be better than that. As far as any other year that I've been head coach, it's certainly been the most trying. I think I did a bad job. Very interesting that the coach seems to be taking a hit for a team that just didn't fit well together.
Yeah, and I think that that's what a really good coach does, is they do step to the plate and they take the hit, because it is partially his fault. Is it all his fault? No, I do think that he could have manipulated the pieces better, because, you know, think about Kyrie Irving and Hayward, neither of which played last year. I think it was a perfect storm this season where he really tried to get people.
You're making a great point. I must interrupt you.
Okay.
Because Wally Szczerbiak is calling in right now, Bill Pito.
Gosh,
And I am happy to see
What's up, guys?
my brother Wally.
What's up,
Wally,
Billy
what's
P?
up?
Nice job on the Celtics, Wally. Way to go. Way to go.
Because
Yep,
we
good job.
we
Good job.
can't have this discussion about the Celtics without having Wally part of it. It wouldn't be right, because this is the guy that you and I had our little friendly wager about the Celtics or the field, and I told you that was a broken team and a broken locker room, and you said talent wins out, and I don't know what I'm talking about, and useless stats, and put him in the spin cycle and flamethrower and all the other things you say. And their own coach even admitted that they were broken up. Wally, to that you say what?
Sorry, we all have a right to be
I'm
wrong.
wrong.
Look at what Paul Pierce said. He said the series was over after game 1. That's basketball. That's sports.
Yeah, except
and you got to give
Paul
credit
Pierce
to the
was
Milwaukee
right.
Bucks. I'll tell you, that team played at a really high level. Giannis Antetokounmpo is playing like the best player on the planet right now. He's unguardable. You try to guard him with a smaller guy or even a guy his size, he'll overpower him. Horford had no chance. He was too slow to keep up with him, especially off the dribble and him getting to the basket. That Bucks team was impressive. Guys like Connaughton coming off the bench, knocking down threes. George Hill knocking down threes. I think a big part of the Celtics issue was obviously Gordon Hayward is not the same player that he was before the injury. And Tatum really regressed this season. I think Tatum was spectacular last year. He was a budding superstar. But this year, I don't think it's because of the guys coming back. I don't think it's because of, chemistry issues or because of the coaching issues. I just think Tatum's not as good as we thought he was going to be. That's kind of the player I thought he was going to be. I think he's limited at times, not the most explosive guy. Didn't shoot the ball very well from outside this season, especially in the playoffs. So as a result, they got their doors blown off by the Bucks, who showed they are a big-time contender to win the championship.
Wally, is it not Brad Stevens or any other coach's responsibility to come up with a rotation that works, a consistent rotation that works, and to get guys accept their roles? Does he not deserve at least some of the blame here?
He deserves a little bit of the blame. But when you look at those players, I just think you got to give him a lot of credit for what he did last year to get them to the Eastern Conference Finals and almost beat Cleveland. That was an impressive job that he did. I just think those guys, there are a lot of overrated players on that team. There's no secret, guys. I'm not a big Marcus Smart fan. I think he's very limited. I think he's all rah-rah. I think he's all get the crowd. He's all Marcus Smart and all this little swag he's got going on. But when you put it down to, he's not a high percentage shooter. He's not a high percentage three-point shooter. He's a decent defender at times, but he's a little bit undersized, when he is guarding bigger guys, like when he was guarding Porzingis. And then you look up and down their roster, Kyrie Irving at the point guard position, he's one of the best point guards in the league, but, how far can point guards really take you? Look at Russell Westbrook. He's out of the playoffs already. So a guy like Kyrie, he needs pieces around him. You have an aging Al Horford, and I think with Al Horford aging, you really showed a little bit of, lack of athleticism on his part, and that was exposed and exploited by the Bucks.
Wally, how you doing? John Wallace here.
What's up, John?
How you doing,
John?
my brother? How you been? I got a quick question for you, because we played in the era when it's more physical, more inside-outside type of a game. Are you happy to see that the Denver Nuggets kind of got back to that the other day, playing against the Trailblazers, getting the ball to Millsap early and often and going to Jokic often inside, like playing it like a man's game like how we used to play?
Well, you got to play to your personnel, and I love seeing that. And obviously Denver has an advantage inside with Nurkic being out for the season. So they're taking advantage of that. They're going at Enes Kanter down low. we've seen Ennis try to defend pick and rolls, and that's not his strength. His strength is rebounding and scoring. So I think that's a good job by Mike Malone, just taking what the defense gives him and developing a game plan that dictates a style of play that is suitable for them. And those two guys are dominant inside. It's good seeing Paul Millsap kind of turn back the clock a little bit and play at the level that he's being paid at on that big contract. And I played for Mike Malone in Cleveland. He was an assistant. There's no better guy, no better coach out there, and he's really proven that and doing a great job out there in Denver.
Wally Julian over here. How's it going?
Super. What's up, Julianne? How you doing?
Good to see you. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So your thoughts on the 76ers right now, and what do they have to do to really get going here? I mean, obviously, Embiid has really struggled. How do they get back to doing what they do well in order to win the next one?
Well, having that game at home is going to be big. Embiid wasn't healthy last game, so that hurts them quite a bit. But they got to figure out a way to get the ball out of Kawhi Leonard's hands. That guy has just been on fire. You look at the way he's scoring, the efficiency that he's scoring at, and the way he's defending too. That guy on both ends of the floor, there's no better player in the NBA. And he's playing at such a high level. And you got to look, he's doing it against all-star caliber talent in Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, and big-time guys out on that wing. So they got to figure out a way to slow him down, make someone else beat them. I just think the addition of Marc Gasol, coming into that lineup midway through the season, has really elevated that team. And all those pieces are really fitting together. The Bucks have made some good moves at the deadline that are really fitting together. And it looks like those two teams are on a collision course to meet up in the Eastern Conference Finals, and one of those teams make the finals. And that's going to be a very big-time representative from the East, because both those teams are loaded top to bottom.
Wally Ball, I need you to repeat after me. Are you ready?
Yes.
Alan,
you
were right.
You were right.
Okay, so now that we acknowledge that, the Celtics are out in the East. The field now remains. Who's the team you pick coming out of the East?
Wow. Let's see. The Bucks have home court. I'll go with the Bucks.
It's hard to argue that one.
Yeah,
you're right. They have the best player, right? Usually is. But Kawhi and the
I don't know
Raptors.
about that. I don't know if Giannis is better than Kawhi.
Okay.
Especially the way Kawhi's playing. I wouldn't say they have the best player. I would say they might have a little bit more depth. And pickups like George Hill and Ilyasova, those guys are proven veterans that have big-time experience in playoff games.
Yeah.
And the way they played in that Celtics series, they just dominated off the bench. Pat Connaughton didn't miss a three, especially up there in Boston Garden, where he's from, right around there in the Boston area. And those type of performances are what really, I think, broke the Celtics back.
Brogdon's also back. Made his
big addition.
Return last night. Wally, most important question of all for you, how'd the golf game go today?
I did not play today.
What?
Wait
a minute. Breaking
running
news.
a few errands.
Breaking
But the
news.
golf game has been great all week. Believe me, guys. It's in mid-season form. I'm looking forward to hanging out next Monday.
That's right.
I can't wait to get on the show. I've been watching the show. You guys are doing a tremendous job. I think it's a big hit. It's a ton of fun to see summer programming on MSG. And I can't wait for next Tuesday, too. That's the big day. Get those ping pong balls and let's get the number one pick. And then the rest is history for the Knicks and the Knicks franchise. I'm really looking forward to that day.
Wally, just a word for your preparation. Come in here focused.
I'm always
He might
focused.
be sleeping.
You must come in here
I
focused.
just took a 30-minute nap on the couch. So
course you
I'm
did.
plenty rested. I'm
He just-
focused. I'm ready to go.
Wally's World. This is Wally's
All right,
World.
we can't
I'm
wait
going
to
to
see
pop into Billy Joel tonight. Check out
there
his
you
70th birthday performance there at the Garden.
Oh,
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. That's
All right. Well, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
I missed the invite.
Thanks,
on this.
Wally.
I missed
You
the
got it,
invite.
guys. See you later. Can't wait.
It's amazing. He just went the whole segment with no cell phone. How did he get through
Oh,
that?
it was probably
It's bad.
in
He
the
didn't go
off camera. He's tweeting while he's talking, but the fact he didn't play golf today.
That's a
stunner,
shocker.
Because normally whenever I call him, he's either coming
Who
from the
has
golf
time for
course,
golf?
going to the golf course.
Wally has a lot of time for golf.
Plenty of time for the golf course. But, again, we did talk about it all year long. We battled it out about the Celtics, and I kept telling him there's a problem with this team. You can see it. And he kept saying playoff time, it'll all come to fruition where they'll worry just about winning instead of everything else. And Brad Stevens admitted he could never get them there. And I think that's why what Brad Stevens said about putting it on himself, falling on the sword, if he wasn't going to say it, everybody else was. Because the coach's job is to get everybody in the egos and manage them and get them to play. They are better than the team we saw in the postseason.
But I'm slightly confused because In his statement, he said he let go of the rope, right?
No, they did, the players. We let go of the rope at times throughout the season.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying that.
No, he's suggesting that there were times where you could feel the group was letting go instead of just battling through some things, that they were fighting through a lot of things. And it ended up, the lack of chemistry caught them in the end. And as the head coach, it's your job to try to be a leader of men and get that group to play through it. He couldn't do it, and that's why he put it on himself, and he should have.
And you can also make the case they had too many good players. I mean, there's
Well,
only so
they
much,
have
so
so
many
much
minutes to
talent.
go around.
Too many good players
They have-
that want to get paid.